my god. Okay, so now everything is working again. Yeah, technical difficulties with cameras. Just in case you're wondering why the stream went off and now it's online again. I don't know why, but seems like I have to restart the application for streaming, otherwise the face cam isn't working. Okay. Anyway, let's bring you up to speed. Yeah, it's a nice sunny day outside, so I'm kind of in the sunshine. So I have rebuilt the rear hatch, including the hinges. So the hinges, as you can see now, the hinge is now as it was. This area here, this is far away enough so that it doesn't make contact with this part here. And the only difficulty that we now have, everything is perfect. So okay, let's first go through the hatch itself. So I have completely redesigned the way the window frame attaches to the rear hatch. The rear hatch is now completely flush with the rest of the bodywork, so in both directions. So the angles here are perfect. I have also redesigned the latch. Focus. Thank you. So before we didn't have a mechanism that would pop out the latch itself. Now we do. So, and of course, the whole mechanism itself is more compact than it was before, and it's a lot better. Okay. I have made use of some of those new parts here. Well, new. Come on, focus. Come on, camera. Okay. Yeah, these. It's not in focus, but sorry, I cannot control it. So everything here, so it's perfectly stable and everything works flawlessly. Of course, have to keep it open. Okay, so of course I can lift the car by the hatch, so no problem. And you can see here that the rear hatch is now also perfectly flush with the C-pillar. See? So really, the geometry and everything here is absolutely spotless. Everything is exactly the way it should be, almost as if we have planned this from the beginning. However, there's one tiny little bit that unimportant, really, that's giving me a hard time. Hey, Christian. Of course, Christian here is kind of responsible for the rear hatch redesign because he designed the hinges. So and this then spurred me on to redesign all of it. But the problem I had, and I spent quite a few time, quite a lot of time solving this, but didn't come to a good solution. So everything here worked, but you notice that something's missing. We don't have the shock absorbers, so nothing is keeping the hatch open. So we have nothing here and here. I have tried several solutions, and the problem is always the same. The shock absorbers are too strong to. It's just two options. First, the shock absorbers are strong enough to hold the hatch open. But if they're, and I tried several different levers and whatever that would keep the hatch open, you can still see a way to attach them here. But the problem is always the same. So the shock absorbers apply a force to this part here, and somehow the pillars here get stretched a little bit, or pulled in. They get pulled inwards. So basically this happens. And when this happens, you cannot close the hatch because this part here makes contact with this and prevents the hatch from closing. If the shock absorbers are not there, no problem. Thing is, of course, we don't have a panel gap here. Before, this didn't matter because we had a panel gap between those lift arms. Now we don't. I prefer it this way because it looks a lot cleaner. Everything is, the geometry, everything is just the way it should be. Now of course, there is the option that we basically move them half a stud closer, creating the panel gap here. That would be an option. Then we would not have the problem with the hatch closing. Wouldn't change much, I guess, because all of this would just be pulled one stud closer, and the way I attach this would not really fundamentally change. We would just have to make some changes here on top to pull them closer. Nothing major really. Question is, do we want the panel gap? My opinion, we don't really have an option here if we want shock absorbers. No matter which shock absorbers we do, no matter what option we use, we always will have, because of course when you compress the shock absorber into its compressed state here, it will inevitably pull the base of the C-pillar to which it is attached. It will pull it inside. When the weight of the hatch is compressed to it, it's gonna do this. Just a little. A half a millimeter is enough that this edge here makes contact with this, and you cannot close the hatch properly. Like this, no problem. But as soon as the spring is in here, no way. This doesn't happen. And I really would like this to be a hatch that you can close. So I guess we will actually have to do the half a stud conversion. I don't see another option, to be honest. Whatever I tried to reinforce the C pillars. Didn't help. I braced, I used bracing to. In the end I used these to. Maybe they would be, not they're too weak, but maybe they would somehow be weak enough that the force wouldn't compress everything that much. But then, how did I do this? Yeah, I even braced, this side was on the C-pillar and this side was braced on the floor of the car, just so it wouldn't tip over. It didn't much, just that fraction of a millimeter that prevented this from closing. So we have to have a panel gap here, I'm afraid. That's not the end of the world. it will make the construction of this even better, because we can get rid of a lift arm, an axle that I have here, and replace it with pins, making the hatch even stronger. And here we can get rid of the connector here and replace it with a white connector, because I don't think these are available in white. And even if they are, I would be happier to have a connector here connected with a pin instead of just the axle here. And I certainly don't want to put a a bushing here. So yeah, that's what it's gonna be, I think. Well, please let me hear what you think, but I think that's really what we have to do. Otherwise, we cannot have shock absorbers, and we have to, because if you open the hatch, you certainly want it to be open without the help of a powered stick or something. This isn't the 60s. It has to be a shock absorber. So yeah, let's do it. That's the only option I haven't tried yet. And while we're doing it, I can show you what I did to the hatch. So first, let's remove the spoiler. So everything here is pretty damn compact. We are gonna have to change this part, of course, which is a shame. You see, now that we are going to move this half a stud in this direction, so we're gonna remove the half bushings, and instead of the bushings, we are gonna have pins. Which is gonna make everything look even better. And we will be able to have a symmetrical lift arm here, so no, not a 3 and a 4, but 3s on both sides, so it's gonna be better. Yeah, let's do it. Of course, I'm gonna do one side first. Otherwise, since I'm an old man, I'm not gonna remember how it went back together, and it's gonna be lost. Okay, now let's figure this out. So we have to be one stud closer. Okay. We're gonna use this guy here. And one, two, yeah, and the gray one. So instead of the 6-stud axle, we're gonna use this. No. Yeah. Nice. I see you are very eager to advance the S1. So am I must admit. But you know, I have a habit to always finish one project before advancing on to the next one, because otherwise you are in a murder cycle where you don't finish anything. Okay, so we are like this here. No, yes, yes, and yes. Okay, that was the initial idea. Even it got rejected because, you know, reasons. But now we are picking it up again. Okay. So we have to redesign this part here. You see here we can have the luxury of the connector. On this side we are now losing the connector, at least this one. It has to be on the inside, and since it's closer together, we're gonna use this hole. Wait, what am I? No, sorry. It has to be closer together, of course, like this. Yeah. Now we use this hole for the connector, and the, yeah, exactly. So yes, like this and like this. Here we put in the red one. Sadly, I don't have black connectors anymore. Oh well. Yeah. Okay, so that's the difference. Yeah, this one is now, well, it's not, it's half a stud more in this. And if I wasn't an idiot, yeah, I would have put it in correctly. Okay, yeah. So we have to do the same on this side, and then we can offer it back up to the car again. And well, good part is that again we are saving parts. We are at the same time saving parts, and we are going to solve a problem. So win-win. Oh no. I hope this isn't the problem. Let's see. Okay. It was almost a problem. Almost a problem. You know. Almost a problem here. I thought that these two are in the same bind as the other were. They do make contact, but I'm willing to permit it. So when it was half a stud more in this direction, the curvature here um, was more forgiving, but now they do make contact. I don't think they do. Yeah. God damn it. Yeah. They do make contact here, and you can see clearly that the gap is increasing towards here. Man. Yeah, we could go for a 15 lift arm because we don't need the rigidity of those. It's not needed. But this complicates this a little bit. This complicates this tiny little bit. And by tiny little bit, I mean a lot. Okay, this is perfect. Yeah, looks so clean. I even think 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe a 4 stud, but it's not needed. We could go with it, but so the problem here is that the following. So ideally, we would have this situation, so that this part here does not make contact with this and basically force it outwards. The problem is that this top part here cannot be, it should be like this. So it should be a this is a 13, should be a 12 stud lift arm, but it can't. So we have, what options do we have? Either option is shitty. We can somehow decide to live with this situation, making building instructions kinda complicated, and this thing here not be kosher. One of the options would be if these here would exist in white in a 7 stud configuration, but then this wouldn't be possible. At least not in. No, it would be possible. Yeah, this would be possible. We would have a 3 stud lift arm here, a 7 the 7 stud panel here, and then the end would be basically 2 lift arms that would create this here, and this would be good. So I wonder, do these exist in 7 stud in a 7 stud form? That would be interesting to know. Then we could work with this. yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Right now I cannot change this, so I'm going to live with it for now. And let's move to this. So here we have our hinges. So these hinges here, so the top part here needs to come in half a stud. So obviously we're not gonna change this part here too much. Instead, we are going to extend this part here half a stud outwards, and we're going to use a shorter connector here. So the positive part is going to be the connector. So the lever here between the hinge and this is going to be shorter, which is good. And while we're doing this, I can show you how all of this is done. Because it's an interesting solution developed by Christian. Just let me, okay. Developed by Christian and complicated by me. Yes, that's how I have to put it. Yeah. I have over-engineered this, of course, as is usual for me. And I have to kinda, yeah. Because I added, I added a brace here. Yeah, come on. We are improving the rear hatch of the Sierra. One of the last remaining problems on the car before we can say it's done. So okay, this is yeah, okay, now everything goes apart. I guess this is how it's supposed to go. Too much. Come on, okay. One out, and the second. Of course. Everything comes apart, as usual. Okay. So, how do the hinges work? No, not like this. Yeah. So, this part here that you can see, so this part here is performing multiple duties. So this is at the same time it's holding the hinge, and it's basically the brace for the C-pillars to the roof. So it prevents the roof from flopping around. And this, of course, is then the hinge. And what we are going to do is the following. We are going to increase this here by half a stud outwards. Of course, we have to change to use something different here. So this here is going to go half a stud wider, like this. And here we are going to use, instead of this guy here, we are going to use this guy here, the smaller one. There. And there, and there. So this as opposed to this. With this, we basically brought this in by half a stud and made this part here smaller by 1 stud. So we basically made the hinge half stud narrower on each side, and I think it will be stronger. Yeah, now we have to copy this on this side, put it in the car, and see what happens, and hope for the best. Here. Okay. There. Where's the other one? Okay. How? I had it here. How did it go missing? I don't get it. There. And of course I can always attach this way. This is just cosmetic, so it doesn't matter if it's attached by half a stud here. Okay, let's put it back on the car. And let's see what the effect of all of this is going to be. Okay. Now I'm very eager to see if this is the way I imagined it would be. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. The interesting part is that I thought that the panel gap, even though these two were parallel before, and we narrowed them by exactly the same amount on the bottom and on the top, they do not appear to be equal. That's interesting. Very interesting. So this leads me to believe that they weren't the same before, and that this was equal just because it forced this kind of apart a little, which is weird. Interesting. What problem do you see? I'm too focused on this, but I'm pretty sure I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? On this setup, I currently don't see the problem, but please point it out to me. I mean, it works the way it should. This works flawlessly. I mean, obviously, we cannot get rid of this floppiness, but you know. Part on hinges is pushed by angle lift arm. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's happening. I can see it here. Okay. I mean, that's not a problem. Yeah. But this isn't the cause of this. So the way I see it, interesting. The way I see it, we would have to is it only me, or would we, if we kept the solution on top here the same as it was before, these would be parallel? Let's try it. I'm eager to try it. Let's see it. Let's see this. I want to see this. I want to see this. Oh God. Okay. The other side can stay as it is. No. Now this is the other extreme. Weird. Weird. So it's either this. Wait, what? All right. Yeah. Okay. It's in between. So if we wanted these to be perfectly aligned, it would be something like this, but this is impossible because obviously this is so basically this this means that if we want those to be parallel the way we had them before, we need to go one half a stud narrower here again. Basically we have to revert to the same situation that we had before, just that we would have offset them by 1 stud. Oh, really? What? I don't want this. I don't want to do this. That's so weird. So it was perfect geometry as it was before. And why is it not now? I mean, I really like this part here, so that it's just a single 15 stud lift arm. You know, but why do I have to deal with this now? That's not fair. That's not fair. And it's half a stud. How would I solve this? I mean, I could put these here 1 stud closer. Then I would have 1 stud of movement here. But how do I solve the half a stud problem then? Tricky. Yeah, that doesn't help us at all. That's for the hood. The situation here is completely different. We cannot use the that solution for this. Okay, so if we revert back to the solution that we had before, we could. The problem that we have then is, of course, that we don't have the gap here, and that would allow us to put in the shock absorbers. Yeah, what if it was adjustable? What would we gain with it? What would be the purpose of it being adjustable laterally? I don't quite understand. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Jim. That's tricky. It's trickier than I thought. You know, when you think that you have figured it out, and then a tiny detail suddenly shows you that no, you are wrong. And you have to say, damn it. Okay, the top part here, you know, the only thing that we can do is we revert this back to the setting that where it's half a stud offset here, and then we move this half a stud in again. So basically, from the original position, we are going to move it a whole stud in order to get a full half a stud gap. That's sounds weird, and it kind of is weird. And I still don't think that we are gonna have here an equal gap. For you know, I have a gut feeling that we don't. We will have a gap that then instead of being larger at the top, it's gonna be larger at the bottom. For reasons. Yeah, but Jim, it wouldn't help us at all. We don't want the beams to be movable. We want them to be fixed. Damn it. Damn it. And I'm still not sure if we convert this, that this would be fixed. So I'm gonna convert just one side, and wait, what? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? What? So this is parallel. Am I stupid, or what's happening here? Why is that side parallel and this one isn't? What am I missing? Now I'm confused. Now I'm really confused. Just a second. Is it just a perspective thing, or what? It's kinda a perspective thing, I guess. They are basically parallel, but not from every angle. And the angle basically took me. You see, they kinda are parallel. Okay, so I'm not stupid. Okay. Okay, so you basically have to just fix the collision here that's happening between the connector and this. Okay. That's a relief, I guess. Not that this collision is going to be easy to solve, but it's easier, let's say. Easier. that's not gonna help us at all. Yeah, okay, this is kind of okay. But now, as Christian said, what's the problem here? The problem here is if the camera is gonna focus. Thank you. So now we have a slight collision. But this collision doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Because there's enough gap here that this is perfectly flush without this being even remotely problematic. So we can leave it as this. Perfect. Perfect. Just the way I like it. Okay, so the problems were greatly exaggerated. Okay. So, our next move. Now that we have this fixed and we have a gap here, we can try to do some experimentation with yeah, there is, Christian, there is no collision here because there's enough slack between uh, the studs, if you will, that the half a millimeter or whatever it's kind of supposed to the this thing is supposed to angle in is irrelevant. It does not force this anywhere. It's good. So support. How do we now install either these, they are pretty stiff, which is kind of problematic, but maybe the new setup here is going to be better. So ideally we have to design this in a closed state, and ideally when this is closed it's going to be completely parallel with the strut, or I mean parallel. It's gonna be like this. Of course, it cannot be diagonal. It's gonna be like this, and it's gonna be in the same line. And the pressure it's gonna provide when compressed, it's gonna be like this, not in any other dimension. If it does in any other dimension, then we have other problems. Now, where do we put it? That's the question. One of my suggestions, based on previous experience that I had recently, would be here. We would do something like this. So we would use this part here. And our strut would then push here. We would compress it, So it would start pushing up. We would, of course, you know, come on, close. Yeah. So now it's compressing. It's compressing it here. And when it goes up, it starts pushing it up right about here. So just the last portion. Here, it would compress it. Yeah. The good part here would be that unlike before, this was compressed too much. So it was compressed way too much. And then the force of the compression, since it couldn't go up here, would go into this part here. So into the support of the A pillar, and it would basically apply a pressure on it, bending it in you know, both backwards and downwards. We don't want that. We don't want this at all. And on top of that, see here, this part of the rear hatch must not make contact with this. So you know, the socket for this has to be made so that it doesn't contact this, but is parallel to the C pillar. So ideally, let's see if we compress this in a manner possible here. I would have it somewhere here. This, I think, here, but we have to push this. Okay, so we have to basically have the mounting point here on top further inwards. So that's going to be a challenge. Basically, ideally, we would have it one stud further to the outside, so that this part here on top, on the bottom, would be as close to the side of the car as possible. Right now, it's a little bit too close to the middle, in my opinion. What can we do here? What can we do here? So if we move this part one stud closer to the edge, something like this. Yeah, this would be most ideal, but of course we need to support it here. Otherwise, you know, this is way too wobbly. We need to have a way of supporting it here. Of course, ideally we would support it here, but that's not gonna happen because this is half a stud. So I'm wondering. we turn this around by 90 degrees, it would be like this. And then we would be able to have this here. Yeah, that would be a possibility. You know, if we turn this by 90 degree like this, then we could put a connector here and connect this. Problem is that then this would flop around as well. So ideally this would be, I don't know, an axle hole? No. Wait a minute. We had it like this. Let's recreate this. It's difficult to do this here. Let's recreate this. So the situation that we have right now is the following. We have this. And we want this. Yeah. And of course we have the lift arm. The lift arm that goes here. So that's the situation. Of course, this gap here is problematic because you know, this is flopping around and we don't want this. Now my initial idea, idea that I just had was to do something like this. The sun is not helping, but well, so do something like this. And now I don't know what. Ideally, we can say, okay, let's screw the half a stud here. What's happening here? Camera again. Just a second. Okay. Technical difficulties again. Okay. So let's say that we ignore the half studs that we have here and we use whole studs so that our connection would be here. That means that we can use these two guys and use this. In this case, we would have this, this, this. And our strut would be located here. So we would replace this stuff here. This. And this is a whole lot better. Yeah, we have to just put a bushing in here. That should be it. Is it gonna work? I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm using gray connectors here because I don't have any more black ones. Need to order them. Everything is used up. Even though I have completely integrated the Land Rover into my collection, I'm still, you know, short on those. There were not enough of them in the model. Boo-hoo. Wow, sun. Wait a minute. Let me close the window blinds if I can. Okay. Better. Okay. That's a lot better. I hope. So we have like this and this on one side. Now the other side. The other side would be mirror. This. Okay. Let's try. Okay, we can try to mount them basically without the hatch in place. Which gives us a better perspective. So ideally, you see, we want them to be parallel like this, but in a in the compressed state. So in this way. Here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Next hurdle. Next hurdle. Okay. So now we have the problem here. See, we need half a stud clearance. It's too close. Lovely. Now it's too close. I can't believe it. How do we deal with that? I mean, I can force it, of course, and mount it like this at an angle. Yeah, but then yeah, we need half a stud clearance. Okay, half a stud. Amazing. Amazing. So they basically need to be half a stud closer. What parts could we use? I wonder. Could we use something like this in any capacity? But this has to be here, and these holes have to be like that. Could use something like this here, but if we use something like this, we have a problem. Now, ideally, we will now have a hole here, but we don't. This is allowed to wobble, which is absolutely not what we want. So I'm wondering if we can extend this hole here and mount it here. Or alternatively, what we could also do is mount it like this and find a solution here. Also a possibility. Now here we could do something like this. Imagine black parts, of course, but maybe this isn't ideal because it's yeah. I mean, it does the job, and it's really sturdy, but I'm not sure. It's kind of awkward. Yes, there will be black, all black connectors and stuff. So imagine them just being black. But honestly, I don't see I don't see a way for this to be done any better. I'm gonna replace them now with black only, just so that we can see how they look like. Oh, I even have enough black ones to do both. Okay, okay, that's good. Let's make them. Okay, let's change this to all black connectors. Now we have to do this and this and this. There. Wow. Okay. Quite a piece to do a simple job. But I've done worse just to experiment. So let's not be deterred by that. Okay, there we go. Time to install on the car. So ideally they would be here, I think. Yeah, and this is actually, oh my god, this is better than expected. Okay, what if I do this? Okay. Okay. Better than expected, to be honest. They are not entirely parallel. Let me check. Well, basically, let's see how they perform. Why not? It's just a temporary solution, but you can check. Okay. This looks nice and parallel. Ah. Okay. I knew there would be something. Okay. I knew there would be something. How do we solve this? Well, we have to have something here, I guess. Oh yeah, I think I may have the solution. Okay, so basically what the problem is, of course, I cannot push them down properly because all of the force of me pushing them down is on the pins here. What if we just replace the bushing here with a 3-stud thin lift arm so that this part here can push directly onto the 3-stud lift arm? Maybe. Just an idea. At this point, I'm basically just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. No, like this. Ha. Of course. Okay, then a 2-stud lift arm, I guess. And I'm going to replace this fucker here. So the bushing that just rolled off with a 2-stud lift arm because it's easier to install. No need to adjust where it's rotated. There. Let's see. Just on this side before we completely commit to the other side. Okay. All right. This solution works. Who would have thought? It's primitive, but it works. So basically, now whatever is pressing on doesn't the sole force of us pressing the hatch down is not on the pin anymore. But basically, yeah, that's just the bushing that fell out. But basically, we are pressing on this, having a much better leverage. That's the idea. I'm pretty sure we can improve it. Ideally, I would have, ideally I would have both 2 pins here. But that's just my humble wishes. Which probably are not gonna become reality. Okay, this all clears. This is straight as it should be. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah. Only thing, yeah, you see, we actually do need to have to basically make sure that the top part here is connected to this assembly here with a pin. How? I don't know yet, but it has to be. Probably, and I hope it's gonna be like this. The way I just seen an option. I've seen an option that could be viable. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think this is it. This could be it. Let's do it on the other side as well. Probably you're gonna be able to easier see it on the other side. What I'm doing. Of course, this is gonna be improved, but this is just a prototype. There. Okay. So now, oh yes, see it now? Now we have reliability. Okay, it's holding up. But why is this not closing? Okay, interesting. Very interesting. This is now perfectly parallel as it was before. This isn't. Could be because of this part here, that this part here is interfering with this. Can someone look up if these here exist in 7 studs? That would be most ideal if they do. Yeah, if those existed in 7 studs, so shorter, then this part here would not be a problem. Could be that this is the reason why, I mean, it closes if you're brave enough, but it's not the smoothness that I would like. What? Okay. Now that we have done this, and I'm very happy with it, actually, I can live with this, you know. I guess there's not really much that we can do here. For now, I mean, at least I don't see a solution now. Maybe one is gonna be more evident later. But one thing that we have to do now is to make a socket for this. So this is all fine. It bends a lot less than before. You can see it bending, and you can definitely see that if we didn't have this gap here, it wouldn't be able to close no matter what we do. So it's good that we re-engineered this. The hatch opens wide enough. It opens even to the point that this part here, see, this part here just doesn't make contact with this. So it's not stressed. It's really looks like it's opening just as it would in real life. So I'm very happy with this. But I'm not happy with, of course, this the way this attaches. So I would like to find a better solution, which I think I have. I just have the part for this. So ideally, we're gonna change this with this. There. And then, of course, we can have a, because this is bending a little bit, we can have a support going down, a support sort of stuff going down and supporting it, I guess. We could even change this around. So yeah, don't know if we actually gain anything from this, but so and you see I really like the way that the rear light cluster is actually sticking out here, because that's exactly what's happening in the real car. So basically, in the real car, there's the rear part is very slightly sloped outwards, and this kinda suggests it. It makes it a Sierra, which I like. So this is very good, very good. Now we need to just now that this reality here has changed, we have to create a new mount for the spoiler again. I lost track of how many versions of this I already made. I think this time is gonna be pretty straightforward. Yeah, this looks legit. Yes, I am pretty happy with this. And I must admit, yeah, this is the best version we made yet. Come on, okay. I mean, this is also realistic because on the real Sierra you also have to sometimes slam the hood shut, the rear hatch shut because the lock is damaged. So, you know, kind of realism. Okay. Damn it. There may be another reason why this is happening. Yeah. So frustrating. So, basically, you see, you probably can't see. Basically, this gray connector here, see, this gray connector is making contact with this. So this gray connector here, this is making contact with this, preventing the hatch from being closed smoothly. So what we have to do is natural. Have to eliminate this connector and make another version of this. Yay! I just when I thought we're done. Okay. So, how would we go about? So basically, the problem is this part here, where the axle sticks out. So we need to kind of well create. We're gonna have a one, two. Well, we're basically gonna offset it. Yeah, there's no other way. We have to offset the connector here to this position. And while we're doing this, we can move this guy here from where it is now to the inside, so it's closer to the connector. Do we gain something with this? No, not really. We only complicate things, I guess. One, two, three. Oh god, I'm already overcomplicating this way more than it's necessary. The ideas I'm getting now. No, 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 no. No, this is gonna be way too complex. Way too complicated. So if I move this guy here from where it is now to the other side, so here, it would be here. So it would, in essentially it would connect the same way to the connector as it does now. But what would we gain? Well, nothing. What's the part that I would need here? Oh my god. Wait a minute. Does the ideal part that I need here exist? I wonder. I just hope it's the way I think it is and not the other way around. Oh god. Because there is a part that would be ideal here, that would be porn. Let me just find it. Where do I have it? No. It's just a tiny bit different than I thought. Okay, so this part would be perfect if this part here, if this protrusion here either didn't exist or would be on the other side. So I would basically use it here like this instead of the two stud lifter, and I would have a connector. So basically I would have this guy here sitting on top of it. This would solve everything. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Shit. Things could be so simple, but no. This would be perfect. This part would be like that. This would be so perfect. This would be ideal. Yeah, exactly that. As you said, that's exactly what we have to do. Yep, that's the next best thing, and I think that's gonna be all right as well. I can be satisfied with this. So this is the next best thing. And I think that's all right. It's even more elegant than this in any way. I mean, in every case. Yeah. I wonder, can we turn this around? Is there room? Or is there no room? No, there isn't. Yeah. Ah, see, Jim, you have actually contributed to the stream already. Thank you. So there. There we go. As you said, Kristen. As you said. But, you know, I'm not complaining. Well, one thing that bothers me, of course, is this here. It's constantly sitting a bit skewed. But I'm not sure we can do anything about it. Could do a fiber here, but then we couldn't use this here. But this is essential, more essential than this being correctly angled. Now, let's offer it to the car first and see if our effort has made a difference. While we are at it, we can make these here, our contraptions here, maybe a little better. So we cannot use the same trick here. What can we do? You know, to make this a little less squishy. Yeah, we can. No, we can't. Yeah, we can't use. Hey, Louis. We can't use. I thought we could use. You know, a 3-stud lift arm here. But then I remembered that I tried this, but it just wasn't gonna clear this here. So I guess this is how it has to be for now. By the way, Christian, thanks for the earworm. Now I'm gonna be playing the Slim Shady in my mind for the rest of the day. Come on. Okay. Let's see now. Okay. Does it still make contact? No contact. Very good. Very, very good. Yeah, it could be. It could be. The problem is that then we have to extend this from a 4-stud. Oh yeah, sorry. Then we have to extend this from a 4-stud 4-stud axle to a 5-stud, and then we would have a pin sticking out here, I guess. Or no, we could. I mean, it would be a 5-stud axle anyway. But yeah, I realized it. Sorry. Yeah, we can do this. But overall, I think the rear hatch is now as good as it gets. I'm really happy with it. It's probably the best rear hatch on any Lego car so far. Come on. Yeah. It needs just a little bit of persuasion. But you can lift the whole car. Once it's closed, see, you can lift the car by it. So the latch is definitely good. It's more than good enough. Yeah, let's try this. This is driving me nuts. Just doesn't feel right. I did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I'm really sorry, Ben, if I didn't give you credit. Yeah, exactly, Louis. Like the actual Sierra trunk, it needs to be persuaded a little bit. This, yeah. Even better, even better, even better, even better. Hold on. Yeah, yeah. Or am I on the wrong path? No. Oh. Has to be like this. Fuck it, I'm gonna try it anyway. Hold on. Hold on. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm crazy, right? Of course. Of course. This is the way to go. This is what I wanted. There. We went from this to this. This is gonna clear. Should clear it, and this is better. Less parts. Fewer parts. Sorry. Fewer parts for the grammar Nazis. There. Much better. Now let's make another one. Another one. Like an idiot. Okay. Okay, I'm super confused now. I'm super confused. What the fuck? Why is this happening? Why? What's wrong here? Why do I have a different gap here than on this side? Doesn't make sense. What? What's happening? Doesn't make sense. No gap. Gap. It's alright on the top, but not alright on the bottom. It's crazy, right? What the? Did I do something wrong here? No. That looks symmetrical. Where did I go wrong? Everything looks symmetrical. There's nothing wrong. Why is the gap different? Why is the gap different? Guess I don't know. I mean, okay, yeah, maybe it's just because there's no side panel here, and the whole thing gets just pulled to that side a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Okay, so I'm not crazy. Well, I'm not that crazy. Okay, job done. Optimizations, of course, are gonna happen, but now I have to basically start ordering parts. Tomorrow, of course, next stream. Tomorrow we are going to optimize. Yeah, exactly. That's the good part. This time it's not under stress. Everything I tried the past few days, this thing was under stress. Now it isn't, which is amazing. Kinda. I would say it fits perfect. You couldn't even squeeze a goat's hair between anything here. For example, here, see this connector here sits on top of this. Now I could replace this connector. There's options, of course, with a solution that we had before. This could be good or not. Maybe this is why the hatch isn't closing as good as it should. Well, I don't think that's the problem. Yeah. There's one problem, of course, that does exist. And this is the following. You see this here, this gap here that's increasing. This gap is basically a stress gap because of this. So see, before this was basically one part. Before we completely remodeled all of this, this was one part, and this didn't happen. Now it does, and I have no idea how to solve this. So now there's no gap, and now that when I'm closing this, gap increases. Only way I think we could solve this is to add another lift arm here. Maybe. I'm not sure that would be okay. So we could basically add a lift arm here. I'm not sure how kosher this would be. I'm not sure another pin would solve the problem here, to be honest. I can try, but I don't think it will. Because the center, you see, the center pin here isn't gonna make a difference. The light pins are not gonna be enough. The light springs. Light springs are definitely not gonna be enough. These are just barely enough. Okay, I stand corrected. One more pin, solve the problem. Okay, that's new. I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that. But it did the trick. Interesting. Very interesting. No, and one more pin here, probably. And then this should be good. I hope. don't want to add too many pins because, you know, that increases the part count and weight. Every single bit adds to the problem. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes solutions are crazily simple and effective. What I'm doing here is basically I want to, there's a burr here and I want this to be inside, not outside. Yeah. I do have them. Thing is that I'm not using them because they're old. In a car like this, where I plan to make building instructions and expect other people to replicate what I do, I'm really trying not to use any parts that are overly expensive, rare, hard to get, because when I would use those parts, I would automatically make it impossible for people to replicate the car. That's why I'm not using that. There are places where those parts are gonna be used. Uh, One application I can imagine is the Bugatti, maybe even the Audi, just because it's gonna be a competition car, and everything has to be, you know, that extra strong. But the construction of the vehicle should not rely on them, on that extra friction. It's good that it's there, but even if it's not there, uh, everything still works. If you have them, you can add them to give you, you know, that extra. But that extra shouldn't be built into the car. But the tumbler wheels on the Charger are not that difficult to get. I didn't have any problems getting them, and to be honest, you can put any wheels you like on the Charger. You don't have to use the tumbler wheels. Other wheels uh, of the same diameter with the same rims work as well. Or, you know, even even these would work. These wheels fit the Charger. Um, you know, Other wheels that use the same tire and different rim also fit. So it's not like you're super limited. You can use different wheels on the Charger. And if you want, you can even, I think, even the Formula One wheels would work as well. I think. Don't quote me on that, but they should. So, you know, but you have to admit that the tumbler wheels are the perfect wheels for the Charger. I cannot imagine any other wheel on that car. Yeah, so I think that the body itself is more or less done. More or less, you know. Once I get all of the parts and once the whole car is going to be white, I'm certain that there's going to be some things that I would want to change. But the main areas that are going to be changed, of course, are the colors. Of course, all of the gray panels that you see here are going to be changed to black panels. So the whole car is going to be as black as possible inside, and the outside is going to be white. So for that contrast. You can of course use any color you like. That's the colors I'm gonna choose. And in on tomorrow's stream, we're gonna optimize the engine and the seat. They still, and the door. Still, there's still some optimizations that need to be done there. For parts, for weight. So we want as few parts as possible to create the car, but with all the functions, and that's the magic. You can throw parts at the model all day, but all you do is make it heavy. You just make it overly heavy. I don't want that. I don't like heavy stuff. And the engine here, it's quite a chunk. We have to of course do the front still. There's been on Eurobricks there's been a few suggestions how to do this. I'll look into them and see which one ultimately I would go for. I don't think we're gonna go with the chain, even though I would like a chain. Neither solution that was posted was even remotely the way it would be in the real car. So I would prefer gears. It's also simpler. Gears are simpler. And here in the engine, I don't know. I would really like to remove a few parts here and make it little more parts efficient. Let's put it like this: little more parts efficient if we can. There's not gonna be a lot that we can take away, but a little, because it's quite a chunk. And then the seat, of course. Seat, probably it's very light. The seat is very light, so I don't think there's a lot of improvements here possible. Colors, of course, I'm gonna order all those parts in light bluish gray. Sorry, dark bluish gray. The dashboard is gonna be dark bluish gray. The rest of the interior is gonna be black. So there's gonna be that contrast, a little something. And the door, of course, there's not that much that we can improve, but I think we can do something with this, and I think this needs another look, probably. And this here, I think this can be done slightly better. But these are, minor nitpicks. Color corrections, a few things here and there, and then we're done. You see, basically, we need to just do this here. While we are doing this here, I'm going to have parts on order for this year to make the whole body. And if we are lucky, by next Monday, there's nothing to do. And I think we are gonna start on the Audi already this week, because ideas are in the air, so to speak. Ben has a lot of ideas, and I have the gears and stuff, so why not do it while we wait for the parts for the Sierra? No, that's it, Ben. So, this is what we have to improve yet. Probably 1-2 streams, and by Friday, I think we should start, or even by Wednesday, depending on what we do tomorrow. We should start with Audi, because other than colors and the missing bodywork that's identical to the other side, there's nothing on the Sierra that needs doing. Well, nothing. I say this like there really isn't anything to do, but it's minor stuff that isn't really important. It's color stuff, and the rear suspension, maybe I'm gonna go through it and change a part or two here and there, not because it's really needed, but just to make it more coherent, you know, look more more how, what's the word, uh, more more like it's a Lego product and not a mock, let's say. um, Louis, we are planning to do an Audi S1. So basically, that's the rally version. And the challenge here is that it's not going to be the same size as the Sierra. It's going to be a 1:10 size. So it's going to be quite a bit smaller. And that's the huge challenge. It's going to be quite a bit smaller. I have some ideas for suspensions and stuff. Ben has done very good work with drivetrain stuff. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, the Sierra is, I really like it. I think I should, let's reassemble what we have and take a look at it, because I really like how it looks. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think I saw that, but you know, I intentionally didn't comment on that post because, to be honest, the car that we are gonna build is gonna be very different from what he is doing. Very different. So you know, I don't see the value of me commenting anything on that, and what version of differential do I like more? I don't know. I have to look into it more in depth. We'll do tomorrow. I mean, ideally, of course, I would like to use the new differential, but that's not gonna happen because the drivetrain is gonna be different, of course. You can see here that I already made the dark bluish gray dashboard with the black surround for the instruments. I still need to do the panel here, the kick panel under the steering wheel, and something about the come on, the glove box. So yeah, that's gonna be, you know, that's gonna still happen. But I think, you know, I think this car looks fantastic. imagine now yellow license plate, front and rear, everything white, not primer gray. It's gonna be brilliant. Of course, the sunroof needs to be up. Yeah, I'm limited by the camera, so excuse me. The camera mount is not ideal, but yeah, pretty much done. It's sagging a bit. Yeah, it is. True. I wonder why. Guess the attachment points for the rear bumper aren't ideal. Oh man, really? Camera mount? Are you gonna do this to me? Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna do here. I mean, not that it's not realistic, the sagging bumper, but there kind of is a lot of weight on the shocks, and some weight is still gonna come, especially the rear ones are too soft. I need to get the harder ones, but the front ones, once the engine is in and the rest of the bodywork and both seats, the front is gonna be, yeah, but the front is fine. Basically I need the same shocks as as there are in the front, in the rear, and it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be super hard suspension. It's gonna be soft suspension, but in a soft suspension, you can basically, when you drive the car, you can make it kind of corner. You can make it do those things, simulate high-speed cornering when stationary. It's easy to play with it, and when you're driving it, when it's that soft, it reacts to the ground better. So once we have it remote controlled, it should actually perform really well. Because most of the cars that I see that are remote controlled have two problems. First, no suspension geometry, making it hard to control. Second, the suspension is way too hard. And because the suspension is way too hard, the whole car is bouncing instead of basically absorbing the road shocks. So we'll see. We'll see how the Sierra is performing. I'm not shocked that the rear is so bouncy because the shocks are just softer. Yeah. Okay. We have a squeak, suspension squeak. Yeah. It's nice, and oh yeah, holy shit, it's nice to drive. Yeah, it's really nice to drive, and the position of the steering is perfect because here, I mean, you can really. What the fuck is squeaking? Something's squeaking. I need to investigate. Probably a bearing. But the good part is that you really, you know, when you drive it by the hand of God steering, you really have the feel of the car. You can feel the since the body is so rigid, you really feel the suspension. You feel the steering. You feel it's. I mean, you don't get this with any car from Lego. You know, that's why I want hand of God steering, because fiddling with it on the desk or whatever is just priceless. And you can still get rid of this and put a servo in and have it remote controlled. Doesn't matter. But you have the option of hand of God steering, and you, if it's a display model, you basically just remove the handle. It's removable and display it. So no hand of God steering. Yeah, but not for this. This is probably gonna get just the standard LPF power wheel hubs once the instructions are done. Obviously, I'm not gonna keep the Lego hubs in here for a minute longer than it's necessary. As soon as I can, we're swapping in a random stream somewhere. We're swapping them for the LPF power wheel hubs. Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. I see you tomorrow in the tomorrow stream. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we are, of course, back at our regular schedule at 8:15 p.m. Central European time, as usual. And yeah, we're gonna do the drivetrain, probably rear suspension because the seat is uninteresting. Probably not gonna do anything to it anyway. We're gonna do something to the rear suspension. Maybe do the glove compartment and the kick panel here under the steering wheel, and we're gonna ship it. Yep. And then Wednesday or Friday we start with the Audi. That's the plan. Yeah, I love it. So see you tomorrow.